All right, folks, welcome. Looks like we had just a little bit of a connection delay today. We'll get everything set up here. All right. So today we're doing day 6 of the 30-day AI prompt challenge for remodelers, and we're glad you're here. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. All right. So look, the important thing about day 6 is when you guys are running and gunning and it's swamped and it's summertime, being on time with your schedules is the best thing you can do, right, for your profit and for your customers. Because when you're on time for your customers, they're excited because they don't want you there any longer than you have to be, nor do you want to be there any longer than you have to be. So let's get through this. All right. And I find that a lot of guys, when it comes to scheduling, and I was this way myself, you don't realize just how fast you can actually get a project done when you put it down on paper that this is how you're going to do it today, right? So sometimes we like to think, ah, it's going to take this long, and you have a very relaxed attitude about it, and you let people on your job site be relaxed about it. And then that's why for some guys, kitchen remodels can take 2 months when you should be in and out in 6 weeks, right? That's why basement projects, things that you could easily get done in 4 to 6 weeks, end up taking 3 months. And you think you're being efficient because when you're on the job site, you're working, right? And what you are missing out on is that you could have done the project much quicker and easier if you were more organized and planned ahead and were pushing yourself and set daily goals, right? And were organized with your subs so that they knew, hey, I'm going to be finished up the framing on Tuesday. I need you guys to be ready to go on Wednesday. And you actually were done on Tuesday so that that plumber knew he could trust you and be there on Wednesday, right? And then this way you can pre-plan and pre-schedule inspections ahead of time instead of waiting till everything, you already know my plumber's going to be done by Thursday. So let me go ahead and schedule that inspection. Now, if something comes up, you can always turn around and cancel that inspection. But if you don't schedule it ahead of time, then you don't push for anything. All right. So we're going to be quick today because, boy, it's hot. And I know a lot of you are busy and you had a long day already. So let's look at this. Before building the schedule, you're going to ask your AI generator, right? Again, we might be using Claude, you might be using Grok, you might be using Anthropic or Chat. You're going to ask it some and give it some data so that it can help you, right? The answer you get out is only as good as the information that you put in. So, first, you're going to answer this. You're going to tell it what kind of remodel is this and give it some detail. We're doing a 1920s kitchen remodel. Um, we are tearing out this, we're tearing out that, we're moving the plumbing location, we're moving the electric, we're doing this, we're replacing floor joists, we're replacing floorboards, we're ripping out laster and plath and going to be furring out the 2x4s to install new sheetrock. We have to insulate, right? All the things, put all those details in there. Now, include the square footage, right? Also mention anything else that might be pertinent, like ceiling heights, and if the framing, if it's going to need time to level or plumb framing. All right. So also include things like, are you doing permits? And then what inspections are going to be required in your area if you do those? Okay. And now let's get into how many different trades are going to be involved. Who all are you subbing things out to? Is it going to be your guys doing the work? So are you handling the framing? Explain to it what your crew size is and what they normally can accomplish, right? And give it information like, will the client be living in the home during the remodel, or will the client be, moving out so that you have free reign? Talk about how you're handling materials. Are you going to be ordering everything ahead of time? So, for one of the most effective ways that we ever would do kitchens or baths is you have a client pre-select everything that you're going to need. Everything is pre-ordered, and then you store it. Likely, you store it in your warehouse. Okay, some items you might allow a homeowner to store, but we found the best success. You store all the items in your warehouse. Then, when you have every item, and I mean every item, I'm talking the bath towel bars and the robe hook, the vanity lighting, right? The specific tile, the bullnose if there is some, You want every single item at your warehouse. That's when you start the job. That's how you know you can get it done quick because everything's ready to go. So let your AI agent know if that's the case. And then th- if by being a veteran and being a professional, you should know, are you going to potentially see any change orders, right? What are the chances? And if you have an understanding that, yeah, we most likely could see a change order here or a scope adjustment there, you're going to want to go ahead and put that in. Now, veterans, guys that have been doing this for a while, you most likely have already addressed this, and as many variables as you could were already discussed with the homeowner and possibly already factored in. And at the same time, I do understand that there are occasions where you go into a project with the expectation, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, there is a possibility that we'll encounter this or that. And if we do, then we'll address it at that time. So again, it all comes down to the communication that you're having ahead of time in your pre-construction meeting, in your pre-sales meeting, things like that. All right. Also, enter in and let it know, do you typically run multiple jobs or focus one at a time, right? And what is your ideal setup? Do you have project manager? Do you run a lead carpenter system? Is it just all hands on deck and we don't know who's in charge of what some days? Whatever it is, put that information in there. And then put in what your ideal timeline to complete the job is. How do you see it most likely playing? Be realistic, right? Account for the unknown, account for things like maybe there's some traffic one day or something broke or you mismeasured and cut a few, you built the wall wrong, whatever. Things happen. Okay. And also let it know like what maybe has caused delays in your past projects that it should know about so it can account for. All right. So once it's been provided with the answers, you're going to then tell it to create a clear X to X week project schedule, right? Broken into the major phases, um, and include things like inspections, finish work, punch list, right? With estimated durations, built in buffer days and milestone events like including client walkthroughs and or inspections. All right. So we like on larger jobs, we like to schedule a couple client walkthroughs where we know either first thing in the morning or in the afternoon, we're going to take a moment and walk the client through so they can see everything that's going on. We can prep them for what's coming up next. We can explain to them what has been completed and address little concerns along the way and help demonstrate that we know what we're doing, right? And then you're going to tell the ChatGPT agent to format these responses as a week by week plan that can be given to clients, crews, or subs. And you want to include any tips for keeping the job running on time and or on budget. So once you have all that, you'll go over into your chat GPT or Grok agent and you will type that information into the prompt, which we've already done several days in a row. So we don't need to handle that today. And then you can move forward. Now, one thing I have put into a guide, and for those of you that join the Remodelers Helping Remodelers Facebook group, you'll get access to the bonus script of how you explain your unique scheduling process to the homeowner. All right. And that's something that we have for, again, members of the Facebook group. So if you're not already a member, you'll want to go ahead and sign up for Remodelers Helping Remodelers today. Get yourself in there. Lots of other good information. All right. So this is day 6. We have many more to go. We're going to be doing this for 30 days straight. So if you haven't already, you're going to want to go over to the YouTube and like and subscribe to this account so that you'll be notified when we go live. And also, if you do find yourself having questions, reach out to us. You can put that information in ahead of time, or you can comment in the chat while we're live and we'll address it. So today was a short one. This is a crucial stage. And one thing I'll share with you is that what we found the most success doing was we would utilize a Gantt chart style schedule. And that landed us multiple jobs. Understand again, yesterday we talked a lot about how much there is around fear, and the homeowner is concerned that you know what you're doing and that whoever they hire can get the project done, right? Get the ball from start to finish, run it across the goal line. And so many contractors wing everything because they just want to be loose and not, I don't want to do all this corporate stuff. I just want to, fly by the seat of my pants. And If you're a self-employed solopreneur, fine, have at it like that. If you are trying to run and grow a true business where people are going to be working for you and you're not out there swinging the hammer yourself every day, but now you have guys doing it for you. You have to learn how to develop a proper schedule and demonstrate to the homeowner that you understand exactly how the project's going to go. And you demonstrate to them that you are going to be able to get this project completed on this type of a schedule because they've all heard horror story after horror story of remodelers that said they could but can't and didn't. So it's one thing to talk it, it's another thing to show it. And when you can show it, homeowners are willing to go with it. All right. So I hope you have an amazing day. Thanks for checking this out. And we look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow as we complete the first week, day 7 of the 30-day AI prompt challenge for remodelers. All right. Have a great day. Take care.